मैं दोनों का ही बॉय हूँ, मैं हॉस्टल का प्रोडक्ट हूँ, इस वजह से रिंकू का कैरेक्टर रहता है.
Our job is to make sure that we follow what the director's vision is.
Time laga hai to come from banda bada cute hai to now maybe coming to कि बंदा थोड़ा hot भी है. And सूर्या वहाँ पे हंस रहा देख के क्योंकि उसे पता है कि सब सच है.
I did I went to acting school for 9 months. I did a couple of theatre productions.
Hello, dosto. Welcome to the Bollywood Talk Show on IWMBuzz. This is your host Shubhajit. I have with me the lovely team of Undekhi season 2. बिना कुछ कहे, बिना कुछ बोले, सबसे पहले yippee कर दो आप सब लोग because the show is coming on 4th. So अब yippee from your end.
Woo!
Awesome!
Love it. You know, सबसे पहले I'll start with Surya over here because he was there in the first season as well. Whenever there's a season 2 of any project, any web series, the first reason is that season 1 was good, season 1 was a blockbuster. उसके वजह से you know the makers have dared to make season 2, of course. Undekhi season 1 was fantastic. You know, I think the average ratings were something around 3.5, 3.4. 3.5, 4, something like that. What I want to know from your end is that when you're coming with season 2, this time you have expectations because पहले वो अच्छा चला. So how do you cater to the expectations? And secondly, how do you rejuvenate and bring something new so that वो monotony ना लगे?
I answer the first one. I learned this while I was struggling and preparing for acting and this and that. So expectations रखना तो भूल गया हूँ मैं. So don't expect. And season 1 से भी यही किया था कि कभी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था कि कैसा होगा. एंड व्हाइल डूइंग अनदेखी उस टाइम पे भी किसी को पता. एंड वो सोनी लिव पे आया, स्लीपर हिट हुआ, सब कैरेक्टर्स फेमस हुए. एंड आई थिंक इस बार भी एक्सपेक्ट ना करें तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया. एंड जितना होगा इट्स गोना बी वन क्रेजी शो सीजन 2. So yeah, I look forward to it.
I think best things are unexpected. That is what we are saying ultimately at the end of the day. But एक और चीज मुझे आप बताइए, in the show, of course, your character is somebody who is very close to his father. He'll do everything for his father, family is very like that. असली जिंदगी में आप वैसे ही हो जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं मामा's boy, आपके पापा's boy या फैमिली के वो एक लौते वो बंदे हो जो कि हर किसी का बात सुनता है. They do everything the extra mile for their family members.
Yeah, I'm very attached to my father and I'm attached to my mother also. मैं दोनों का ही बॉय हूँ, मैं हॉस्टल का प्रोडक्ट हूँ, इस वजह से रिंकू का कैरेक्टर रहता है.
Wonderful.
Yes, that's it.
Nice. मुझे नंदिश आपसे ये चीज पूछना है. You're playing this character of a suave businessman, जितना मुझे brief मिला है. But of course you have come into the project new. So it's a brand already, Undekhi, and you know that you're joining a brand. So of course people will have their own expectations. I'm talking about the expectation of the audience from your end, not your own expectation from the show. So when you come into a show like this, which has a blend of both old characters as well as new ones coming into the foray, how do they blend so that एक साथ मिलके कोई मसालेदार project बने?
I think it's the more than anything, it's the directors and the makers' vision, how they blend in new characters into the show. As per like Meiyang Chang are new characters, playing new characters in this season 2. So our job is to make sure that we follow what the director's vision is, because he sees the entire picture, the whole picture as to how he's going to transition from season 1 to season 2, how these characters are going to fit in. And we as actors have our own perception about every character that we read on paper. But it's very important to follow what the director says, because he would be the best person to know how much is required, because anything that we do less or more is going to look out of place. So that's what I did, because when you're doing something which has not been shot before, like if this was season 1, we would have had a little more liberty in terms of exploring the characters that we are doing and maybe going into a different space and doing something. But here it has to not only be our character, it has to fit with all the other characters that have already been so well established. So that's what the audience is also going to like, how beautifully our characters have been embedded into this show and the storyline. And at the same time, they're creating a ruckus. They're creating these characters just come in and they uproot everything in what is happening in the show, especially for the Atwals. So yeah, that's going to be interesting for the audience to watch.
Well, looking forward to that. Coming to you, Chang.
Yeah.
What I want to acknowledge, what I want to say is that जब भी Chang को हम लोग देखते, it's not just me, the entire general perception of the audience. Indian Idol के times I've been hearing that Chang is this very sweet boy, so good looking, so sweet, so adorable. And then I see him in Undekhi season 2 trailer, looking all menacing, looking all scary. पहली बार मुझे Chang को देख के डर लगा. I'm pretty sure the physical transformation जो था in terms of the way you enact, you do the thing with your eyes and all that was not easy because वो दिख रहा है. Even I can imagine because it's showing in the trailer itself and I can imagine कितना दिखेगा show के अंदर. Once I see, I'll definitely tell you about it. So ये कैसे हुआ and how did you actually face out this entire thing?
यार सबसे पहले तो मेरे लिए जरूरी ये है कि and this has been at different stages of my career. जब मैं सिंगिंग करता था तो लोग बोलते अभी आगे क्या. मैं बोला ठीक है चलो होस्टिंग शुरू की. अब होस्टिंग की तो आगे क्या एक्टिंग. अच्छा एक्टिंग की तो उसमें अलग अलग चीजें कब. सो व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज करेक्ट कि परसेप्शन तो यही है और बहुत टाइम लगा है टू कम फ्रॉम सो टू से कि बंदा बड़ा क्यूट है टू नाउ मे बी कमिंग टू कि बंदा थोड़ा हॉट भी है. दिस इज अबाउट परसेप्शन. दिस इज जस्ट अबाउट दिखता कैसा है बंदा. लेकिन बंदा क्या कर सकता है ये एक बहुत कॉन्शियस डिसीजन था मेरे पार्ट पे भी बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द रोल्स दैट आई एम यूजुअली ऑफर्ड आर बेस्ड ऑन दैट परसेप्शन कि बंदा क्यूट है बंदा स्वीट है तो वैसे तरह के रोल्स दिए जाए. लेकिन जब कुछ अलग आता है तो मैं उसको झपट्टा मार देता हूँ एज ए कि दिस आई हैव टू स्टेक माय क्लेम ऑन बिकॉज दिस इज मोर देन एनीबडी एल्स. ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव टू कन्विंस पीपल कि मैं स्वीट और क्यूट के बियॉन्ड कुछ हूँ लेकिन उससे ज्यादा मुझे खुद को कन्विंस करना है कि मैं इससे ज्यादा हूँ. एंड विच इज व्हाई व्हेन दीज काइंड ऑफ रोल्स कम अलोंग मुझे तो बहुत मजा आता है. आई रियली वांट टू सिंक इनटू इट. आई वांट टू लाइक सिंक माय टीथ इनटू इट. आई वांट टू डू मोर एंड मोर. एंड इसमें मैं कहूँगा कि बिकॉज द लैंडस्केप ऑफ अनदेखी इज ऑलरेडी एस्टैब्लिश्ड. आप देख चुके हो कि पहले सीजन में क्या क्या हुआ है. आपने यू हैव सीन द डिप्रेविटी, ह्यूमन डिप्रेविटी जो होती है कि कितने जुगाड़ करके कितना बुरा बन के क्या क्या हो सकता है. तो उसको कहीं ना कहीं हर एक if we go back to school time, every action has an opposite reaction. और अगर बुराई है तो उसको रोकने के लिए कहीं ना कहीं किसी और को भी सर उठाना होगा. एंड अब पहले की तरह नहीं रहा. when अगर बुराई है तो दूसरी तरफ अच्छाई होगी. हो सकता है दूसरी तरफ भी बुराई हो. And that is a very interesting thing that अनदेखी sees कि अपने शो में एक्चुअली बहुत ही कम अच्छे लोग हैं. सबका कुछ ना कुछ कांड है पहले का. सबका कुछ ना कुछ पास्ट है. कुछ तो है ही. तो दैट इज व्हाट मेक्स इट इंटरेस्टिंग. दैट इज व्हाई आई एम वेरी एक्साइटेड अबाउट द शो एज वेल. एंड सूर्या वहां पे हंस रहा देख के क्योंकि उसे पता है कि सब सच है.
And he knows he's lived that journey. इसको पता है. आप
एक चीज ऐड करने वाला था चैन. एक चीज ऐड करने वाला था. जो अच्छा है वो मरता है.
But Chang, I heard your words. मुझे एक और vibe आ रहा है. You correct me if I'm wrong. What I heard from your end right now, मुझे कहीं ना कहीं जाके ये feeling आ रहा है कि बीच में when you had taken this gap from acting, you were कहीं ना कहीं जाके offered similar roles which you were rejecting and then you accepted this one. Is it the same that actually happened with you in reality? मुझे ये vibe लगा.
It's a combination of few things. It is कि sometimes there are similar roles, sometimes there are no roles. And it is the no rules that actually कभी-कभी मुझे खटकता है because every time I'm like कि इस शो में भी मैं हो सकता था, उस मूवी में भी मैं हो सकता था, but just because maybe I did not fit. Sometimes it is genuinely a bad fit कि शायद मैं उस कहानी में नहीं फिट होता हूँ. लेकिन there are so many possibilities, especially now with OTT and with the explosion that has happened with the kind of stories that are being told. मतलब हम as actors also we get constantly surprised कि अरे ये कहानी भी बन रही है. So that's a great thing and which is why for me at least last year was very specific about this कि बहुत interesting काम आ रहा है and I would be a fool to refuse that because it is going to challenge me and it is going to change some of the perceptions as well for the audience.
Touchwood, ये जो साल आपने mention किया वो ऐसा ही आगे रहता रहे. Moving now, I have Apeksha over here. She's been waiting kindly for quite a long time. Thank you so much. What I want to know from your end, Apeksha, is that you were there in the first season as well right now. So I have two questions. Basically, मैं एकदम blend करके पूछता हूँ. Now you come from this background which is all about fashion, modeling, beauty pageants, etc. And then kahin na kahin jaake aapko, when you are offered the project where you are cast as a tribal girl, you of course know it's a challenge, because you naturally, in terms of appearance, you don't seem like that. So appearance may be a challenge hoga apart from the acting factor. So what I want to know from your end is that season 1 mein, when you were offered this, because I did not have a chat with you at that point of time, so I want to know your perspective back then. When you were offered this role, aapka reaction kya tha? Why did you have inhibitions ki nahi yaar, probably I don't fit in terms of the physical appearance? And in season 2, what I want to know is that, of course, after all the feedbacks that have come after season 1, what have you done to improve your game so that it looks even better in season 2?
So the first part of that question, actually. Yeah. So, like you said rightly, I do come from, I wouldn't say a background, like I have done pageants.
Yes.
I did, but in that duration is when I also did my acting training. I went to acting school for 9 months. I did a couple of theatre productions. I've traveled to other cities to do theatre. And right after Miss India, there were these roles that I was getting, which were, which I have no problem with at all, but they were all, stereotyping me in that space. And, it's a little difficult to say no to something when you're just starting out, because ek to itne kam cheeze aati hai. Usme se bhi, you're being like, maybe not this, that.
Yes.
But, and what happened, and it was just a couple of those. It's not, I'm not saying कि 10 role आए थे मेरे, सबको 1-2 आए थे जिसको मैंने बोला था maybe not. And then Kavish, I'm so glad, the casting director for the show, he called me for Koyal. And as actors, we're always told that when you're auditioning for something, don't get attached to the part, because we have we audition so much and we get rejected so much that getting attached kind of takes you off balance. But all my rationality went to the dump when I did Koyal's audition. It was a one-page audition, and I just had one line in the end. And I was like, I have to do this role. Like, I want it. But even then, it was like 3 rounds of auditions, like a 9-month wait. And I think by the time I came on board, the rest of the cast was already, I was one of the last people to get cast. Until the last minute, I was like, oh my God, I hope this works out. So for me to start off as my first show with a role like Koyal, I couldn't have asked for anything better. I couldn't, because I find it so liberating to go on screen without makeup. I find it so liberating to actually get to sink my teeth into a part like this, which is, if I may say so, it's like, I don't think too many parts are written like Koyal's part is written. And the whole background, the whole baggage that she comes with, the space that she comes from, I honestly, for me, it was like a no-brainer that I have to be a part of this show. In terms of preparation, there's obviously like a lot that goes into it, because like Koyal is 180 degrees opposite of what Apeksha is.
Yes.
In every way. And so there was research on the preparation on body language. I worked with an accent coach, which is very few lines, but like those also have to have the right Bengali accent. Even when we're doing action, we keep it very, very raw, because it's not like I'm not a trained assassin. Whatever I knew, whatever Koyal knows is like a part of defense, which she's had to learn because of the circumstances she was in. So a lot of preparation, a lot of workshopping with Ashish sir. He is an incredible director to work with. Like, we've spent hours and hours just sitting and fleshing out the character before the show, on the day of the shoot, nights in Manali when we've sat and discussed the part. So that's the fun of it, like putting the character together. So I couldn't have asked for a better first character, to be honest. Yeah.
All is well that ends well. 4th March, hopefully everything gets decided in the right way that you guys are hoping for. Thank you so much, guys, for talking to us and being there on IWMBuzz Bollywood Talk Show. It's a pleasure. बहुत मजा आया मुझे. Wish you all the best for 4th March and everything that you guys do in the future. Lots of love and good wishes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Bye.